So I was asked a question yesterday in the comments from one of my videos, and it was a question that actually got me thinking what might have been, or even the implications that it would have on the Bulls' future. And the question was from Nico Stark, and that was, would the Bulls be better now if they had drafted Tyrese Halliburton? So shout out to Nico for this question that sparked this video idea, and I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this as well. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. So what's going on, everyone? You were listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Now, the 2020 NBA draft was interesting because not only was the initial draft that normally takes place in the summer was put on hold due to the pandemic, and it happened nearly 5 months after the fact, but also in this draft there was no clear number one selection. Really, the draft was seen as a clear top three of Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, and LaMelo Ball, falling in some order in that top three between them. And of course, those players were drafted in the top three. But outside of that, it was pretty up in the air where the rest of the draft class would go. And the Bulls had the number four pick, I should say. So they would be the first to select a player that wasn't a consensus player to go in the top three. Now, of course, the Bulls decided to select Patrick Williams with the number 4 pick, which honestly was a surprise across the league, even including for some Bulls fans, as most people hadn't really heard who Patrick Williams was leading up to the draft. He was initially slated to go into the late lottery to mid first round range, and in the last week of training camp, Patrick Williams' stock really started shooting through the roof when you had a lot of teams all of a sudden gunning for him. Now, the other surprise of the draft was how far Tyrese Halliburton fell, because leading up to draft night, some mock drafts had Halliburton going as high as number 4, believe it or not, but most felt that he would likely go into the 6 to 10 range. So when Halliburton fell all the way to number 12 to the Sacramento Kings, I think a lot of fans were pretty surprised simply because of the dynamic player he is, a high IQ playmaking point guard that he was in college. And there were a lot of other point guards that were drafted ahead of him, namely Isaac Okoro, Killian Hayes, and then of course LaMelo Ball. Now, it's possible that's why he fell so low, because of the high competition at that position, but I think we can all agree that Halliburton has been exceedingly better than guys like Hayes and Okoro, and honestly, there's an argument that can be made that he's been the second or third best rookie this season, behind LaMelo Ball before his unfortunate injury, of course, and then potentially Anthony Edwards. But I would even go as far as to say that Halliburton has been the better player between Anthony Edwards and Halliburton. Now, as for the question, would the Bulls be in a better place right now had they drafted Halliburton over Patrick Williams? And of course, the reason this question is noteworthy is due to the fact that Halliburton is a dynamic point guard that, at least at this point, he's had a better rookie season than Patrick Williams. And of course, if there is one position the Bulls are in need of on this roster now that the center position has been addressed, it is a point guard. Halliburton has been having an incredible rookie season. Like I said, in my view, he is the second best rookie so far this year. I know he hasn't been putting up as good of numbers or insane highlights as, say, Anthony Edwards or Emmanuel Quickley or even Cole Anthony. They've been having great rookie seasons as well, but Halliburton has been very efficient in his play, averaging 13.2 points per game, 4.9 assists, and 3.3 rebounds at the time of this recording, shooting 48% from the field and 42% from three. And he's actually a solid defender. Not the best defender. I actually think Patrick Williams is a better defender than Halliburton, but I would say Halliburton is a better defender than, say, someone like Kobe White. As for Patrick Williams, well, as Bulls fans, we've all been following him throughout this season, and I think most will agree that we're very excited to see where this kid will take his game and his overall potential as he continues to develop into the NBA. A 19-year-old that is already NBA ready for the most part, has an NBA body, NBA physique, and has held his own in defending some of the best players in the league in Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard. You have to be excited if you're a Bulls fan knowing this kid is going to be something special. Now, Patrick, despite getting a lot of minutes for a rookie, has been a little on the quieter side, particularly on the offensive end, and he hasn't been as aggressive on offense as maybe we would like to see him be, and his shot has been a little consistent at times. But as far as the past couple of weeks go, he's really, ever since the All-Star break, he has really started being more aggressive on offense and showing more confidence in his game, driving to the basket more, playing on the ball more. He's even ran point occasionally in a couple of games. And of course, he continues to be the Bulls' main focal point on defense in the starting lineup. Now, if the Bulls had drafted Halliburton over Patrick Williams, which is easy to say now after the fact when you see how well he's played and has turned out to be a steal in the draft, which that doesn't just go for the Bulls, that goes for all the teams that passed on drafting him, really. I mean, I know most of you guys are not going to like me saying this, but I do actually agree. The Bulls would be in a better place right now if they had drafted Halliburton over Williams, because he would give us that playmaking that we desperately need, and Halliburton is a very comfortable player on the court when running an offense. However, I don't think the Bulls would be significantly better with Halliburton from where they are today anyway. Maybe a few wins here and there, partly because the Bulls have had so many close games this season that having a playmaking point guard who doesn't turn the ball over that often could have put them over in getting some more wins out of those games. But would he make the Bulls a clear playoff team or a top contender in the East? No, I don't think so. And more importantly, maybe Halliburton would have made the Bulls slightly better for the season compared to where they are right now. However, I do believe Patrick Williams was without a doubt the right pick for the Bulls for the long-term success of the team. I like Halliburton. I think he'll be a great player in this league, but I do think Patrick Williams will be a better and more impactful player overall in just a few short seasons. And Williams will also have a better career between the two of them when all is said and done. So before you guys get mad at me for saying that Halliburton would have made the Bulls slightly better than by drafting Patrick Williams, I say that because the question was, would the Bulls be doing better now if they had drafted Halliburton? And because the Bulls have struggled so much at the point guard position, and it being a huge issue when it comes to generating offense for someone like Zach Lavine or Markkanen or even Vucevic most recently, and the fact that Patrick, although has been having a solid rookie season, he hasn't been making that much noise to where I would think that he would move the needle as much in winning more games as someone like Halliburton would. But if the question was, who would the Bulls have been better off drafting for the long term, no question in my mind it's Patrick Williams. As good as Halliburton has been playing this year, I would still much prefer having Patrick Williams just because I think he has a much higher ceiling than someone like Halliburton, and I also would much prefer his defense for the future, as the Bulls are certainly going to need it. I know as Bulls fans, sometimes we might overhype Patrick Williams a bit, and we are a bit biased when talking about his future potential. I mean, you even heard that from a lot of Bulls fans last year in regards to Kobe White, but I honestly feel Patrick is just different. I am biased, I know, but I do think this kid is going to be something special in a few years from now when he starts entering his prime. That's just my opinion though. I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you think the Bulls would be better off right now with someone like Halliburton over Patrick? And who do you think has the bigger upside potential and higher ceiling looking beyond just this season? And who would be the better fit for the Bulls? Let me know in the comments, and as always guys, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in guys, and I will catch you in the next one.